You see, we all been taught this hood way like it's the way we supposed to live. Like we supposed to ignore the rich way and skip to the hood way. Well, fuck the hood way, I want the rich way. The hood way or the rich way. You want the hood way or the rich way. You want the hood way or the rich way. Hood way or the rich way. The hood way noodles, that's cool and all. Rich way got the steaks, I want the steaks and all. Hood way or the rich way. Hood way driving buckets.
The show about to start. Get your water ready. Tighten up.
It's your boy Prezi, Presidential Talent Group is the label. Episode 68, Bar Talk from the Crib. This is the fourth episode of the day. Ooh, wee, fresh off the bench with a 4-piece up. Nasty word. I thank God for waking me up, allowing me to see another day, allowing you to see another day, allowing me to be able to be here to give you 10 principles to take home. You heard that noise? Ooh, wiki! Yeah, let me get a double shot in. I've been taking, I'm 4 episodes in, episode 68. If we on episode 68, that means 68 days in, 68 days of consistency, even with some days on the bench to modernize and check out what's going on, okay? You're going to jump right on into this. This one's going to be a good one, so get your pen, notepad out, get your water ready. You probably got a headache because your pH is off and you're low on water, okay? Episode 68, failure is success. My favorite thing to say. You got to fail to succeed. Failure is success. We're going to hop right on into this. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone, a feedback loop that reveals what works and what doesn't. When you normalize and learn from failure, you accelerate growth, sharpen judgment, and build resilience. Our favorite word. Here are 10 principles to embrace the mindset that turn every setback into a setup for greater success. Let's dig right on into this. Failure is success. Number 1, welcome failure as data, not defeat. Understand, when you failing, you collecting data on yourself like the government. Okay? You seeing, why did I fail? Why do I keep doing this? Where did I go wrong? Is it the ooh wickle? Why am I wiggling on a boo wickle? And when you self-reflect and ask yourself this data is what's going to give you your success. Oh, as soon as I did this, that's when that. So write that down. Welcome failure as data, not defeat. Why? Failure reveals gaps in knowledge, process, and assumptions. They're honest feedback from reality. Reality is you failed. Reality is when you go back and watch your fight, when you go back and watch your football reels, when you go back and watch your basketball reels, you can see exactly where you failed is when you collected the data and you review it properly. Okay? Why? Write that down what I said. Failures reveal gaps in knowledge and process assumptions. They're honest feedback from reality. But how do you apply that? After any setback, write down what happened, what you learned, and what you do differently next time. Treat errors as experiments with actionable outcomes. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. That's how failure is success. The data. What would you do wrong? What did you do wrong? What would you do differently? What would you do to prevent this from ever happening again? It's all about the data, guys. 2, fail fast with safety nets. Okay, why? Early team failures prevent bigger ones later. Okay, safe failures protect progress. Fail fast with safety nets. Okay, so if you know that you're in a failing environment, like usually a lot of failing happens in a home where you learn, that's your safety net. That's where you want to learn. So moms and pops, so that the congregation can help you make your mistakes. Don't get all out in the world, then try to make your mistakes. Make them when you got safety nets. If you was boxing, you making your mistakes while you sparring. So right now, this is you sparring, so you got your safety nets around. You can make certain mistakes early on, so later it's not catastrophic. Ooh-wee. How do you apply that, you say? Pilot ideas on small scale, create guardrails, and Iterate quickly before committing major resources. Okay. 3, reframe failure as feedback for improvement. Why? The storytelling around failure shapes outcomes. If you if you frame it as learning, you stay curious and motivated. Frame that failure as a learning experience, and you motivated to get up and try again after you fell off your god dang horse. Okay. How do you apply that? You say, replace I failed with what does this teach me? Share the insights with a trusted accountability partner. It's real important here. Share your data with an accountability partner, not a yes, ma'am, or sir that's just going to tell you what you want to hear. Somebody that's going to hold you accountable. You were wrong. You're right. That's where you should have did this and that. Accountability partner. Mine's God. Whoever's yours is your own problem. 4, maintain a bias for experimentation. Okay. Why? Innovation thrives on trying new paths. Failure is the natural byproduct of experimentation. How do you apply that, you say? Design experiments with clear hypotheses, measurable outcomes, and a plan to pivot or pivot fast when data contradicts assumptions. Okay. 5, build robust postmortems. Why? Systematic analysis prevents repeated mistakes in compound learning. When you writing this down and you seeing what's going on, you like, hold on. Even without me writing it down, I know I fell in that hole and broke my leg 2 days in a row. I'm not going there for a third day. How do you apply that, you say? After a project ends, success or failure, document what went well, what didn't, why it happened, and concrete change for the next time. Now, understand that this process goes whether you failed or succeed. When you succeed in an experiment as a scientist, you're going to go back and see what steps did I take so that I can write this down to know this is how I successfully make chocolate. This is how I successfully created energy. This is how I successfully did this. Step A, B, and C created step D. Okay. You're going to take that process through failure and success. You write down what worked, writing down what didn't work. Okay. 6, normalize risk and cultivate resilience. Our favorite word. You got to cultivate being strong and not giving up. Why? Growth requires stepping into uncertainty. Resilience turns stepping stones into motivation rather than perilous. How do you apply that, you say? Set a small progress, risk targets, practice recovery routines, sleep, exercise, social support, and celebrate courage to try. Okay. 7, separate identity from outcomes. Tying self-worth to results makes failure feel personal and crushing. So if you feel like I didn't get those results, that I'm not the person I thought I was, no, keep that emotional stuff aside. Can't tie self-worth with results. My results don't matter because success is coming regardless. Whether I fail or success, I'm going to succeed after I get these results. Okay. How to apply that, you say, I failed at this approach versus I am a failure. Okay. Focus on progress, not personality, and maintain a growth oriented self story. 8, seek diverse feedback. See, when you're in the laboratory for too long and you ain't came out in years, you don't realize that times have changed, laws have changed, wants and needs have changed. So if you stay in there and don't get any feedback for too long, you might be building a bomb on accident. Okay. You want to get feedback that matters. There's always going to be negative feedback, but you want to get the feedback that matters. Why is that? A range of perspectives reveals blind spots and accelerates learning. When you get somebody else to look at it, they might be able to see, hey, you cut it too short. You're like, no, I cut it right. And they're like, no, look at it from this angle. And you can see you cut, oh, and that's where you see a different perspective that shows you something that you never, ever would have seen. How do you apply that, you say? Proactively solicit critiques from mentors, peers, customers, and even critics. Use their insights to refine hypotheses and approach. Now, you see what that say? You go to the top dogs. You want to go to the people you look up to, the people that's teaching you, and get information from there. After that, then you want to go to your peers, people that's right where you at, and probably learn to see what they say. Then you want to go to the lower dogs, the people that's going to shit on you and lie, and see what they gotta say. Because sometimes when people hating on you, they hating, but they being truthful. Oh, your breath stink, your mama broke. Your mama ain't broke, but your breath actually did stink. Oh, wickily wacko. 9. Build systems that learn. Why? Repetitive failure without learning wastes energy. System converts chaos into clarity. So you got to build a system mentally, physically, emotionally. Write it down in your mind, write it down on paper that you know where you failed. So that system keeps you from failing again. Because if you don't know about that hole that you broke your leg in 2 days ago and you're blinded to where it's at, get ready to break it. Something else on the third day. Okay. Why? Or that we didn't win over why. Repetitive failure without learning wastes energy. System converts chaos into clarity. How do you apply that? You say, create routines for reflection, data collection, and decision making that feed an ongoing loop of improvement. Create that feed of writing down your failures. Everybody want to write down their success. I got a list of all my failures and exactly how I failed, so I know never to fail again. We go. 10. Persist with intelligent persistence. Why? Most big breakthroughs require sustainable effort across iterations. How do you apply that, you say? Commit a long-term plan to set milestone goals and practice discipline, persistent, adjusting tactics as you learn. Failure is success. Episode 68. If you don't take nothing, take that line right there. Failure is success. Failure is not the end of the story. It's the author's note that hints at the next chapter. By embracing failure as an essential feedback, designing for safe experimentation and building. Suited. Learning into every process, you learn setbacks. You turn setbacks into fuel for lasting success. Take one principle today and apply it this week and watch how that very thing you fear becomes the very thing that propels you forward. If you like, I can show you how to do it. I can do it. Can't do it for you, but I can show you like I just did with the principles, or I could show you with me doing it. But there's only so much of watching the principles. There's only so much of me showing you. There's only so much of me explaining to you. You gotta go out there and hit the field. You gotta go fail. Failure is success. If you're ready for success, get ready for failure. Episode 68. I appreciate everybody. Episode 69 coming tomorrow. We all caught up because we off for the bench. I appreciate y'all. And tune in tomorrow. Ooh, wiki!